Hi, LinkedIn. James from DC Byte here. I'm joined by my colleague Jenna. Jenna's our analyst who covers India. And recently, Jenna and I were across a couple of the metros in Jenna getting an update on the ground of what's happening there. So, Jenna, what were the trip highlights?
So some of the things we did was go to the three main cities where we met a number of people and visited loads of states. So firstly, start with Delhi. Delhi at the moment on our DC platform, we show about 451 megawatts, of which 44 megawatts is currently live, and there is a number of under construction and committed power. Here's a picture of one of the key operators that really shows the change in Delhi. So firstly, starting with Sify Technologies, they originally had a really small site in the market a couple of years ago, but now they are now developing three buildings just behind the site. And it will turn into a campus. This site has already begun construction, and they're doing the same in the other markets, key metros across India.
Yeah, well,
Um,
Jenna, one thing I was amazed with. So when we talk to people about India, I think they basically see that Mumbai is where everything's happening. We have seen more and more announcements from Delhi, but I was really taken aback by just the sheer amount of actual development taking place. So like these announcements are actually translating into real projects. So it's yeah, a lot going on in Delhi and by extension Noida. So for those of you not familiar, Noida is kind of a satellite town or city. Is that the right way of describing it, Jenna? I think so.
yeah.
Which some of the capacity which serves Delhi and obviously Noida itself is obviously based here. So yeah, we saw Sify. What are the other ones we saw, Jenna?
We also did a tour at the Yota
Oh
campus.
yeah.
Yeah, this was so here's a picture of the first building, which is currently operational, and next to that is the second building that's currently being developed. So again, this is another really big campus and a big site that's being developed in the market, really showing the growth and potential that we're expected to see in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and Jenna, one of the things you mentioned there, which I think is really key, is we're not talking about individual assets anymore. We're talking about campuses. So yeah, the audit team were kind enough to show us around that Noida facility. Very, very impressive. But then they were also able to show us the kind of the entire land parcel, which will allow a number of additional buildings to be built. So yeah, I think not just in Mumbai, sorry, where we're seeing campuses, but we're also seeing them across Delhi, Noida, and Chennai too. So that was really impressive. And yeah, like you said, construction is already underway on that second building. So it's clear that leasing activity is very strong on this campus and across Delhi as well. So that was again something as someone who doesn't look at India as often as you, obviously that was good to see the kind of the health and the vibrancy of that market. Anything else from Delhi worth highlighting?
Just one another big campus as well, which was the SCT. Two big towers also being developed there. They already have a strong platform, strong portfolio in the market. But this is additional now in the Noida site. Previously, it was in the city center of Delhi. This is now the two buildings being developed in Noida, of which they're expected to go operational later this year.
Yeah. So yeah, a couple of highlights there. Thanks, Jenna. A shout out as well to all the great food we had there. We were very lucky with all the Northern Indian cuisine, and Jenna was able to guide me as to what I should and shouldn't be eating.
Yeah.
After that, we went on to Chennai, which again, we saw a huge amount of development and a lot of activity going on. Jenna, what were some of the highlights?
Yeah, it was as soon as we landed, we were hit with the humidity, but we
Yeah.
managed to get through that with thanks to AC. But in Chennai, we spent the 2 days visiting the sites in Abertur and the Surasi area, and then the next day we went to the W.Media event. Just with the Chennai market, we display 73 megawatts currently operational power, of which 208 megawatts is committed power and 60 megawatts is currently under construction. And that's kind of split between the two main sub-markets at the moment. So just some of the key sites we saw was the BAM Digital Realty. This was one of the many joint ventures announced, and they've started construction, really good progress going on. Similarly, like we see in Delhi, now the new development sites and large buildings being developed.
And Jenna, remind me, so there's the two kind of obvious clusters there. I always get them mixed up, which one's which. So which one is the one to the north of the city? Abattoir, yes, and then Circe is the one down south. Yeah, well, again, myself and Jenna, we rented a car for the Thursday, I think it was, and drove to both clusters. Again, what really struck me was that a lot of the announcements, these aren't just announcements, we're actually seeing progress being made in a lot of these projects, and in some cases very quick progress. The projects are really shooting up. The Friday at the W.Media event, well, I think was great networking for both of us. I don't know, seemed to be very well attended. I want to say easily over 500 people there. So congrats to the W.Media event on what seemed like a very successful event. The atmosphere in the room and amongst the delegates seemed to be universally positive. Certainly in the conversations I had, Jenna, and I think you likewise had a similar set of conversations. So again, Chennai seems to be on a upward trajectory, and a lot of good feelings about the market right now. A lot of hyperscale activity seemingly taking place there at the moment. Yeah, so again, really good to see Chennai. This is where I left Mumbai. So the DC by team, we've made several trips to Mumbai in the past year or so, and I was under strict instructions not to extend my work travel past a week. So this is where I had to say farewell to Jenna. But Jenna, you went on to some of the maybe some of the newer announcements in Mumbai, because like I said, we'd seen and had tours of several of them previously. So which sites did you take a look at when you were in Mumbai this time?
So I did quite a few sites. So one of them being the Ever Yonder site, which is located down south of Navi Mumbai. This is kind of a new area we're seeing in the Navi Mumbai strip. This site just began construction, and it's also one of the joint ventures that have occurred. And very close to that, just here is a picture of the AWS Thane Creek site, which is located down south as well. The site is actually under construction, and it's expected to see operations potentially in summer 2023. And this will be one of the first sites we'll actually see in Mumbai, which is a self-build hyperscale facility. So that'll be a big change, because usually hyperscalers are leasing a lot of space in some of the co-location data centers across Mumbai.
Yeah, it was really useful that you got down to see that AWS site. As you mentioned, to date, most of the hyperscale activity has been well, simply taking co-location space, and also a handful of built-to-suits from some of the big Indian operators. So interesting to see if Microsoft, AWS, Google, whoever else might look at doing more self-builds in Mumbai, because to date it's been, as you mentioned, pretty much exclusively colo and built-to-suit style arrangements. Any other highlights from Mumbai, Jenna?
One of the recent developments, recent operational developments, was the WebWorks facility. Their second site just began operations earlier this year, so it was nice to see that building. And then just lastly, here's a picture of a really beautiful sunset at the Juhu beach in Mumbai. So definitely really enjoyed that. And obviously a lot of food.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, I think I came back several kilos heavier from that trip with all the delicious food that we were having. As always, these trips, Thank you to all the various stakeholders who hosted us at their side, who showed us around, who took time to meet us. It was very useful from that point of view. Always much appreciated when we do these trips. Let us know if you think these kind of market updates are useful, because obviously the team both in EMEA and APAC and soon the US we're doing these trips on what seems like a weekly basis. So if you'd like to see more updates from this, please do let us know in the comments. Jenna, it was a pleasure doing this trip with you, and we're due back in India in end of November, right?
End of November / first day of December. So we'll be attending the W.Media event in Mumbai. So
yeah, cool. So yeah, we'll obviously we'll make a bit more noise about that closer to the time. And for anyone that we missed this time, or for any new developments that people would like to show us or get us down to, yeah, please let us know. But thanks for joining me here today, Jenna. And again, thanks to everyone who made the trip a couple of weeks ago such a success from our point of view. And as always, any questions on the Indian market, please reach out to Jenna or myself. Or indeed, if you have any questions about any markets across APAC, EMEA, or now the Americas, please do get in touch. Happy to help with any queries, questions you may have. Great. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.